Hi, I'm Jen, and I thought I would introduce you to the practice of Qigong and also to me, not as interesting as Qigong, but anyway, you might want to know who I am and what I'm about. So, Qigong is an ancient practice that originated in China, and it's one of the 5 branches of traditional Chinese medicine. Let's see if I can remember what they all are with my perennial brain fog. So, Qigong, that's one of the 5. Then you have acupuncture, or acupressure, depending on what you're stimulating the points with. Then you have herbs, you have diet, and you have a 5th one, massage. There we go. I remembered them all. Gold star for me. It uses the same conception of energy meridians as in acupuncture and acupressure. You may or may not be familiar. So the idea is that there's a system of energy channels that run through the body, much like kind of veins, and through those energy channels qi flows, qi being energy. So that's the qi in Qigong. The gong in Qigong means work or discipline or practice. So together it's energy practice, or the discipline of cultivating your energy. And what you want to be in good health is have smoothly flowing qi throughout the body. Things that can create illness if that qi gets stuck, if it gets stagnant. So what Qigong helps to do is to expel stagnant pathogenic qi, take in fresh qi, and circulate that through the body. How do you take in fresh qi? Well, you get qi through the air that you breathe primarily, and also through the food that you eat. So Qigong helps you to sort of slow down the breath and deepen the breath, which means you're getting more oxygen, which is always a good thing. Another thing to look at if you're struggling with energy rather, is diet, which for us is challenging given that we have a lot of dietary restrictions. But there are other ways to get qi. Being around loved ones, there's that sort of emotional, energetic qi that you get from experiences like that. Engaging in things that you enjoy, being more present and in the moment, which is another thing that Qigong helps with, because it's all about being in the body right now and paying attention to the breathing and the movements. Because that's essentially what Qigong is. It's deep breathing with gentle flowing movements. The practices generally I like to start them with a bit of acupressure massage, then do some breathing exercises, do some purging exercises to help get out the ick, get out the stagnant energy, and then do some circulating exercises so that we circulate some fresh energy through the body. But if you want a bit of a direct experience with your qi, a thing that you can try is rub the fingernails of your hands together. You should hear a little clicky sound as you do that. We'll just do this for a minute. Rub, rub, rub. Just a gentle movement, like don't get all tense and highly strung, and then part the hands and see, can you feel anything between the hands? Do you feel any weird buzzing or tingling in the hands? Do you feel your hands sort of, mine are kind of floating apart and floating back together? I'm not doing that, that's just happening. If you can feel any weirdness, that's your qi, isn't that cool? And to sort of feel it a bit more, we're going to pulse on this qi ball, this energy ball that we have in front of us now. So for an inhale, bring the arms out slightly. Exhale, closer together. Inhale. What can you feel between your hands? Can you feel like a magnety sensation? Any warmth or tingling? That's your qi. Pretty neat. Just place one palm on top of the other over the lower abdomen. We'll just take a few slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. See if we can feel the belly rising and falling. Now, as for me and why I do Qigong, I've been dealing with MCAS for the last 6 years now. It's quite likely I also have EDS. I don't have any of these conditions diagnosed. I'm sure you know what it's like trying to get them diagnosed. I just gave up. I would prefer to use alternative treatment methods like Qigong and acupuncture to sort of soothe and heal the body rather than going the route of doctors and medicine. That's just my personal preference. I haven't had much joy going down that route, so I prefer to do things like this. And sort of in the early days of being sick, I wanted to do some kind of movement practice because I knew that, getting a bit of mobility and exercise was important, but there wasn't much that was available to me, given that, as you know, exercise is a trigger. Getting too warm and then not being able to cool back down, then you have a reaction to the heat from doing the exercise. Then there's the issue with sort of joint pain and not wanting to injure yourself in that way. So I started out with doing yoga through YouTube videos, and yoga I just found gave me more grief. Like the stretches were too deep and I wound up with really bad knees. That was just my personal experience. You might find yoga's great for you. It varies from person to person. And I was also looking into Tai Chi because that was something I'd heard of before. I was doing some Tai Chi tutorials on YouTube. And through doing those, I also found out about Qigong, which seemed to be a very sort of similar practice. With Tai Chi, though, it tends to be sort of a sequence of movements and you flow from one to the next, to the next, to the next, a bit like choreography. But with Qigong, you sort of repeat a movement over and over again before you switch to the next one. And I just found that with Qigong practices, I just felt a bit better afterwards, and I didn't feel that way after doing Tai Chi. And so I decided to stick with Qigong, and I've been doing it now for I don't know how many years. My knowledge of the passage of time is poor, maybe about at least 4, if not 5 now. Largely following along with YouTube tutorials. I've got a few books. Last year I took a course in training to be a Qigong instructor. Now, disclaimer, there is no official certification in being a Qigong instructor. There are various Qigong teacher training courses around that you can do regardless. Now, second disclaimer, I haven't finished that course. Now, I've done all of the course material, but in order to complete it, I would have to do some tests where I perform all of the movements on camera for my teacher. And at the moment, I can't do that. I can't do standing practices anymore. My health got a little bit worse towards the end of last year. I used to do Qigong standing. Now I have to do it seated. So I've let my teacher know, and I'm going to wait until I feel better and my mobility has improved, and then I can complete the course. So I'm not a professional, okay? I'm just an enthusiast. I'm just someone who does this every day and finds some benefit from it. It's very soothing for the nervous system. It gets you from the sympathetic fight or flight nervous response into the parasympathetic nervous response via the slow, deep breathing, the being mindful, the gentle flowing movements. It just helps to calm things down. Now, it's not a magic cure for MCAS or other health issues, but it is beneficial, I found. It helps to lessen symptoms, or at the very least, lessen the stress that symptoms cause. It's very good for emotional regulation. If you're feeling upset, great time for a Qigong practice and get those feelings out of your body before they start to cause you symptoms and give you weird reactions. So yeah, that's a little bit about Qigong and about my relationship with it. And I hope that it's something that you'd like to practice with me.